Margaret Thomas. I teach at Dunbar Senior High School. I'm a special education teacher. This morning, I'm sharing with you my research on teacher reflection. I chose oh, I forgot I had a clicker. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. My topic says the impact of voluntary video self-analysis on teacher instructional practice. So why did I choose this research? Okay, it is very simple. Video self-analysis requires the teacher to videotape herself teaching and then intentionally going back and documenting what went well with the research and with the instruction and what did not go well to make changes, instructional changes. So why self-analysis? As I was looking, I look around and I thought, what can I do as a research that can have immediate impact? It's action research, so something I can do that a teacher can use right after the research to impact their teaching practice. And I came across this research done by Harvard University. They did a project in 2015, and I looked at using video self-analysis in the classroom. You see, prior to most of the research done before focused on pre-service teaching, using video analysis pre-service. So you're college preparing to teach and you do your video analysis. There is an increased focus on doing video analysis in the classroom for in-service teachers, especially veteran teachers, because we can become complacent. So here are some things that video self-analysis can achieve. We all have this saying that we tell our children we have eyes behind our heads. Well, we know that's not true. The teacher cannot see everything in the classroom. So one of the things video self-analysis would address, according to this research, is the omniscient flow, where the teacher is expected to see everything, address everything at the same time. So video self-analysis will give you an opportunity to go back and reflect on your video. Then there's a symptom treatment flow, where teachers all of us, we make decisions at the moment. Something happens in the class, we make a decision to correct it, but we don't have enough time to find out the root cause of it. So using video self-analysis, it would allow the teacher to pause, to ponder, and to then find the root cause of the problem. And there's a final reason to do research analysis, video analysis, is the recollection flow. We all know that our memories fail us all the time. So to go back and reflect and remember what happened on Monday may not be the best, your memory may not be the best way to go. So video self-analysis will also address having to recall from memory. So my research question and purpose: to what extent does video self-analysis impact teacher instructional practice? And the purpose of this research is really to examine what happens when teachers critically watch, reflect, and analyze their own teaching. Many of us, the only thing we know about our teaching is what others told us. Someone came into a room and tell us we were doing something wrong, we did not address the child in the back, John raised his hands, but many of us have never seen ourselves doing the work we do daily.
Right.
So we have never seen ourselves do the work daily. So the research method I use, as I said, my framework is based on a toolkit presentation from Harvard, and they use a cycle in the beginning where the teacher takes about 15 minutes, videotape herself or himself, and go through the cycle, focus on the important evidence. Then they would use the content, what do we have there, the context for reasoning, and to connect effective teaching and commit to change in practice. Let me explain how this works. When the teacher looks at the video, he or she then look at evidence, not just all the things that happen. You're not looking at a show or looking at a movie. You're going specific with a few questions. I'm looking to see, did I address small group? Did I address my struggling readers? I have a list that I give the teachers to look at before they go in to look at the video. And then they get to the reasoning. Why? The teachers must ask themselves, why is this happening? you will see a pattern after you've done several analysis, and a teacher can see why this is happening, why is this particular child not responding, or why I'm not getting as much response from my interaction from my students. And then it has to be connected to effective teaching. So to connect to effective teaching, I focused a little on the EP practices, but a teacher may have for pedagogy that he or she uses. For example, many of us, we teach and we all know what we do every day, but we may not be able to ground it in pedagogy. We may not be able to say, I am a critical experimental teacher. I come from the school of, I don't know, Paulo Freire. I'm a Dewey person, and you have to do by learning. So at that time, teachers are forced to critically observe while they're looking at the video, where am I placing this content? How am I doing this? And then in the end, to commit to change. That's the biggest part of it all, to commit to change. Because many times we go to many places, we do PDs, we do all kinds of instructional support material, and never had a moment to implement it, not one day. I have attended 100 things, and I don't know what to do with it. I had to throw it away sometimes. So really, the biggest commitment of a video self-analysis is teacher committing to change the instructional practices that were not effective. So data collection, and before I did this data collection, I sent 7 questions to my school. I sent it to the ELA and special ed department, and I had a graph and I lost it. So the teachers answered. I asked questions. One of the questions I asked teachers: how long were you teaching? 1. And would you consider video self-analysis as part of your reflection model? And teachers said yes. About 60% of them said yes. I also asked the question: how many of them have actually videotaped themselves teaching? And about 80% of the teachers said they have not videotaped themselves teaching since becoming a teacher, but they had prior to graduate school. So I decided, well, definitely there's a reason for the research and a purpose for it. So 15 teachers responded to the survey, 5 participated in the research. It's a small research, but to get teachers to analyze, to document themselves teaching, and then to get teachers to go back and sit still and do a checklist and then answer questions, it was a bit tough. As a matter of fact, I went to a teacher and she said to me, I had the video and I'm afraid to watch it. Press the video. So like a whole week she hasn't, and had nothing to do with the data, didn't get it. So the cycle 1 recorded the 20 minutes of instructional time. They view the video individually and complete a checklist. And cycle 2, the teacher does it again, using a noticing chart. So I gave the teacher 2 pieces of items, I'll show you in a minute. And cycle 3, reflect on the evidence and, of course, make connections. So this is a sample checklist I gave the teacher to do a self-noticing, so they can, the question was not as multimodal, just as what you were mentioning earlier. Uses how you thinking questions, give all students opportunity to participate, the conversations. You have a conversation protocol in your class. Who says what when, to make it easier, because we all want to say something sometimes, so in order to make everyone participate, the teacher may want to have a protocol in the classroom, because some children will, I'm an introvert myself, will never say a word. So they have this checklist. And then there's the sample evidence sheet that teachers do after the checklist. It was asking teachers a lot to do, so they do what they can. And this is a sample of one of the checklists that the teacher submitted. She took a piece of evidence while watching the video. What did she observe? What was the importance of it to her teaching and the context, and so the next steps. And her next steps was you can read it, so I'm not reading the entire thing, but she decided that she was not doing enough collaborative team teaching in her class. It was more independent work. So she decided to come up with some ways to infuse in her lesson to make it more collaborative and team-oriented for the students. The research description, I think that's all right. So as you can tell already, the research examines the benefits of video reflection and addresses concerns about selective nature of evaluation. It explores self-reflection as to inform professional development, and it looks at how teachers implement change and after self-reflection. So here are some findings. After participating in the research, participants were more likely to support video analysis as a part of formal observation. Some of the teachers that worked with me on this research, they thought that maybe one day, well, impact is about to go, but hopefully something else replaces it, and uses video self-analysis as part of teacher evaluation. It has been used already in some places, so instead of the evaluators who come to you now, as a matter of fact, I've seen evaluators who come to me and they're on their phones the entire time, observing me. So if we had a video of the actual incident, the actual lesson plan, you would see the observer looking at her phone. So then the teacher and observer can look at the video together, and other observers, and maybe we can have a more objective, if that exists, part of teacher observation. I think video analysis might be just applicable. And 40% say they're not likely to support video analysis in teacher evaluation, but more said. Another piece of finding, after participating, participants have become more intentional about classroom instruction. So 80% are more intentional providing cooperative learning opportunities, and 20% focus more on strategies. I am in high school, so sometimes we think equity stakes and kind of elementary stuff, but no, you have to always have instructional protocols around teaching and learning. Okay, this was very important. All participants reported to be more likely to use their videos in pair or group collaboration. That was important for me because I'm a co-teacher. So then I say, maybe I can extend this research to include looking at reflecting on your co-teacher. If you're teaching in a class with someone already, it would be best to look at videos together and see where your styles match or conflict with each other, so you can have a smooth sailing. For example, when I co-teach, and if I'm not there, I'm out, my co-teacher struggles. If she's not there, I struggle because they like one style better than the other. So video analysis can help with that. Okay, seeing is believing. So participants say, there's two responses. I didn't put any names. This was all private. The teacher has the video. I don't have it. It was very helpful to view and objectively see myself instructing. I was able to notice actions that should be changed and better practices as well. And then the teacher said that he tended to answer his own questions. He asks children questions, and it takes a few minutes, a few seconds, and he answers it. So that shows that he can change right away. So quick little literature review. This is based into 4 major pieces. Dewey will talk about reflection, and you can read them. I kind of just put a quote for you to see. Define reflection as a persistent, careful consideration. And number 3, video self-analysis allows multiple viewing and teaching situations. And the last one is important. William Myers talk about veteran teachers must be self-critical lest they lose the capacity for professional growth. So many of us say, I'm not doing this anymore, I've done this before. But there's always a new way to do something. So implications for school, teachers can watch themselves, potential to be part of formal observation, and it can replace generic self-analysis. One thing I wanted to share with you, I'm done. So my next steps, I'm done, I'm all the time. What I'm going to do next year, I'm going to create a professional learning community. I'm going to narrow, if I do this research again, I'm going to narrow the focus to using video analysis for peer collaboration and inclusion classrooms specifically. Because inclusion classrooms, let me tell you, 2 teachers in a classroom, we should have more achievement. And if you have 2 professionals in a classroom, something different must happen. So I think that's where video reflection can be best support this group, inclusion teachers. And I will conduct PD on video self-analysis. That's the next step. So since it's an action research, I think these actions are quite possible.